for the last girl I got pregnant, for example, she just happens to be under dumb pregnant bitch in my phone. So basically, all cripples suck the best fucking dicks. Definitely hit up a cripple.
The problem with Hunter is he lacks empathy. Hunter is a fucking sociopath.
As a white male who's extremely good looking, I never really wanted to dabble in having sex with black girls because I thought it was gross.
He embodied, all of the bad things, all of the bad instincts of human nature.
His website, Is Anyone Up?, was designed for public humiliation on a scale only the internet can offer.
It is nude photographs that people have taken of themselves on blast for the world to see.
This site is so inappropriate.
I approve
What
of
are
this
you on? IsAnyoneUp.com.
I know for a fact I saw underage girls on there.
You better have a body to make up for that. Oh my God!
He had a stated goal of as many women killing themselves as possible.
I don't know how you can point your finger at me. You took the picture.
There was nothing that was going to stop him, and it was getting bigger by the day.
It never stops. People are submitting all the time.
I immediately hated him. Really hated him.
That just means they're threatened by you, sweetheart.
You have to study your enemy. So Hunter became my #1 target. I really truly wanted to destroy his life. My name is James McGibney, and I brought down the most hated man on the internet.
Hunter, just so we're clear, it's a site where people would basically put up like inappropriate pictures of their exes. They're angry now, they're putting up their pictures for everyone to see, and they don't go away. They stay up there forever, right?
Yeah, basically.
The very first time I went to IsAnyoneUp.com, I was shocked that this was legal. They just have women's naked images and men's naked images without their consent. One of the very first ones that I saw, my first thought was, oh my God, I hope the police are aware about this girl who's underage. But then on the post, they would post her address. They would post where her parents worked.
What is your motive with your website? Is this money? Is it?
No, it's just getting that information out to everybody.
We're choosing to send them to somebody that we trust. Like, that doesn't mean that we expect them to show up on the internet.
Some of these photos that would have 1 million views within 24 hours. So that's 1 million unique visitors that came to the site, saw a potentially underage girl, and now we're not only stalking her, they were stalking the entire family. Right around that time was when I discovered, A, it was Hunter Moore, but that Hunter Moore he had a little bit of a public persona.
Hey guys, it's me, Hunter Moore. This is a continuation of my educational series, which you can find the rest of them on this channel by clicking below.
Hunter Moore was known as the most hated man on the internet, and it's easy to see why.
It's 2012, what do you expect to happen? Somebody's gonna monetize this, and I was the person to do it.
Doesn't mean that you have to profit off it.
I mean, but I want to.
I would look at stories and media interviews, and he's saying he's making $25,000 a month. No, it was bullshit. As I was studying him, I hated him. As I was reviewing his site and his content, I despised him.
For me, for the last girl I got pregnant, for example, she just happens to be under dumb pregnant bitch in my phone. So I'm going to go ahead and type in dumb pregnant. Oh, there she goes. Scroll down to the fucking bottom. There's a block this caller.
It did become a bit of an obsession, and it became that way because sometimes he would post what the women emailed him. He would post their comments underneath the photos saying, I can't take this anymore. I'm going to kill myself.
He told us nothing could stop him.
And then I just replied back with LOL.
And you would read them and your heart would bleed for these girls.
Public humiliation.
Yeah, it is.
It became an obsession for me to save these girls' lives, and it became an obsession for me to make an example of someone like Hunter Moore.
We will hold Hunter Moore accountable for his actions. We will protect anyone who is victimized by abuse of our internet. We will prevent the stalking, rape, and possible murders as byproduct of his sites.
So Anonymous was very aware of what I was doing. I was going after these revenge porn websites, especially on Twitter. Then a couple of the big time old school OG Anonymous members reached out to me privately and wanted to help.
I'm just reaching out to say hello and I'm not sure what you're really trying to do here, but I've got my eye on you, sir. Thank you for your service.
They were already aware of Hunter Moore and Is Anyone Up? And they said, what's your plan? What do you want to do? I really, truly wanted to destroy his life, just like he had destroyed all these women's lives. We sat down together and studied Hunter. So what fuels Hunter? What does Hunter feed off of on a daily basis? Well, you'd go to his Twitter timeline and you'd see that he'd have tons of money laid out. He'd always have $100 bills everywhere in his parents' house. Cocaine's everywhere. There's images, countless images of him. He's snorting cocaine off of a woman's backside in a club, and he's posting it on Twitter.
So we went to the bathroom, we did a little blow. I let her suck my dick.
So he said, okay, his big things are cocaine, money, and women. What can we provide? Well, not cocaine and women, so that left us with money. So, okay, let's look at his traffic and how is he monetizing his traffic off of Is Anyone Up? So you can look at the source code easily on any site, just right click on any website, view source code, and you can see what ads he had running, what was feeding in. He didn't really have any. So I said, how the hell is this guy making his money? He's not.
It quickly became apparent that Hunter was more about the flash and cash than anything else.
How is he monetizing Is Anyone Up? There was no way he was making that money.
Purchasing Is Anyone Up from Hunter and then shutting the website down, thus ridding the internet of this scourge, became the plan.
We approach him. It took us quite a few months to develop a rapport. We were emailing quite a bit, and I had to pretend to be Hunter's friend to gain his trust. I just had to keep making sure that I was saying the right things. We didn't want the fish to get off the hook. There's 3 or 4 members of Anonymous that are involved.
We looked for vulnerabilities in what Hunter was doing.
Every day we're reviewing and analyzing all the emails back and forth and deciding what the next response was going to be and what time the next phone call was going to be. While I was conversing with Hunter, he disclosed to me one day that he was tipped off, or he was aware that there was a federal investigation of his site. So he knew towards the end that the FBI was starting to get close. But he wasn't taking the site down. That was the scary thing about Hunter. He had so many haters that were coming at him from so many different angles.
He liked being a life ruiner.
This guy's such an asshole, man. Yeah. Outside of doing horrible, violent crimes, it doesn't get much worse than this.
Many law enforcement entities telling him to shut the site down or else. Lawsuits piling up, but he wasn't shutting it down. And that's what made him scary. So finally the decision was made on our end. Let's offer him some money. And this was all timed out. It was very meticulously planned, and we made him an offer. It was an extremely low offer, but he took it.
Then, out of nowhere, IsAnyoneUp.com was gone. The site was sold, shut down, and redirected to Bullyville, of all things an anti-bullying website.
And now the media is wondering, what the hell just happened? Who the hell is Bullyville?
We found a businessman and former Marine who says he did a public service by shutting down despicable content.
And so you shut it down, you say, as a public service.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it.
By taking over Hunter's site, James McGibney instantly brought in 2 million visitors to his new venture.
I think Hunter probably felt betrayed, but that's when he knew he had been had. He realized what had happened. So I think at that very moment, he did feel betrayed.
I'm still Hunter Moore. Fuck you.
So within 72 hours of the transaction being complete, his followers were calling him a sellout.
A guest in the chat room wants to know, you should ask Hunter what's up with the Bullyville article.
How does Hunter Moore get rid of a revenge porn site to an anti-bullying site? And they were pissed. They were very upset with their father. And that's when Hunter then came out and said, you know what? I'm gonna launch another revenge porn site. And we were waiting for it, and we knew that that was gonna happen. I had made clear to him that if you launch another revenge porn site, we are going to destroy your life and every aspect of it.
I am Christina McGibney, and I am James McGibney's wife. I knew what he was working on with Hunter, and it seemed like a great idea that he was going to buy out this website and shut it down, but It was when Hunter started making his threats towards myself and our family is when I really started paying a bit more attention to all of that.
I was at dinner with my pregnant wife and our children, and my phone started going off. It was a continuous beep. I don't know if you've ever seen that. So many texts coming in that your speaker on your phone is about to explode. And I looked down, and it's people sending me notifications. Are you seeing what Hunter is saying on Twitter? So the very first thing that I read was he was talking about, coming flying to Vegas, where I lived at the time, to rape my wife while my children watched.
I'm gonna buy a ticket to Vegas, probably tonight, make sure I'm sick, find that fool's fucking wife, and make his kids watch me fuck his wife, and then take all his money. Like, I fucking hate that fucking guy. You understand?
I am not a person that is easily offended. I have pretty thick skin, but this particular instance was different. I was pregnant at the time, so you have that feeling of vulnerability. He would go on these cocaine-induced rampages, and you don't know what a person is capable of during one of those. And in addition to that, he was kind of soliciting all of his followers on Twitter and social media to do the same things.
You don't know who his followers are. He's got millions of them. It only takes one of them. What happened next showed me just how brutally powerful Anonymous can be. And if they set their sights on something, it's game over.
So we set out to devise our own 5-point exploiting Hunter tactic.
When that happened, Anonymous went after him again. And is my understanding that since he lived at home with his parents, they went after things like the mortgage payment, the insurance, the car payments.
On his new site, he plans to port over content from the Is Anyone site up, violating terms of service with Bullyville. He also plans to launch a new mapping feature that could enable the stalking and possible rape of submitted victims. December the 6th at approximately 2 a.m. Eastern Time, the team infiltrated the site and defaced it after a day of denial of service attacks on his servers.
Allegedly, his credit card and bank was hacked, and money was siphoned out from the bank accounts and donated to battered women's shelters throughout the United States. There was a death certificate that was filed in the state of California that had Hunter Moore legally dead. The stated goal was to bury Hunter Moore.
Think of Anonymous like the global consciousness. If you've done something so heinous, so repugnant, so awful, you must have forgotten. We are Anonymous. We are Legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
Hunter Moore is the man who created the revenge porn website Is Anyone Up, and recently he got arrested by the FBI.
Accusing Moore of what he always denied, stealing nude photos by hacking.
When I heard that he only received 2 years, I think like everyone else, I was disgusted by it. I kept tabs on Hunter because I wanted to see what he was up to in prison. I saw that he and his prison cellmate had registered a new site, and it definitely sounded like it could have been revenge porn. So I hostily and legally took over that site and made sure that everybody was aware of what he was doing. And that's how it's gonna be with Hunter and I for the rest of his life. Whenever he pops up, I'm gonna smack him right back down.
Hunter will never be out of James's sight. That's a fact.